to Knit One.
Part 2, episode 105. We had to look that up because I wasn't sure.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie.
Oh, this is our last week for the washcloth.
Yes.
Knit-along.
Have you been looking? I have been looking at them,
haven't.
and some people have made some really amazing washcloths.
Really bad on that.
I should make a washcloth, but
I should too.
Ain't gonna happen. I'm looking forward to the baby knit along.
So we've definitely agreed that next knit along is baby knits, anything for a baby. Blanket, child blanket, sweater, booties, hats, toys, anything for a child or a baby.
Yeah.
And that starts April 1st and will end May 30th or 31st. I don't know.
31st.
I'm running that April, June, and September.
31st. It'll end on the 31st.
Oh, sorry. I was coming straight from work, so
yeah.
I was up at 3:30 this morning.
I feel bad for you.
It is what it is. Go to bed at 9 o'clock tonight and get up at 3:30 again.
The life of a phlebotomist.
It's all right, though. It goes by quick. Before I know it, I'm, done with my drawers. I've done a lot of hand sticks lately.
Oh, yeah.
You have to get the blood wherever you can get it from.
That's right. And it's a good experience. And in fact, I'll talk about this later, but I was talking to a physician's assistant about being a phlebotomist and where you were working. And he was like, she's going to get excellent experience.
I really am. The only thing is I'm kind of relying on the butterflies, and I got to get away from them.
Yeah.
Well, because the way the butterfly works, we're getting a little out of it. But
this is a little derailment. For those of you who haven't watched the show before, usually we start talking about knitting sooner than this.
Yes, much. So you have a straight needle, and you go in, and you put your tube in. Butterflies, it's got like a little wing set, and you put it in, but there's a spot right here that you can tell you get in the vein because the blood shows up. And so you kind of... I try not to rely on them. I only use them when I have a patient that I think is going to be difficult, an elderly patient, or definitely if I'm in the hand. I will not use a straight needle.
No, you really need to use a butterfly in the hand.
So I've been having quite a few hand draws on my floor that... We're not supposed to have floors, but I tend to go to the same floor because the other people I draw with tend to go to their floors.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's fine.
I think it's fine because if you're drawing them day after day after day, which you tend to, because, there's a lot of patients that have certain labs that need to be done every day. If you're on a blood thinner or something, you tend to know where exactly to go.
Exactly.
I have this one woman who I go right in here in her hand. I come in, she goes like this.
She's ready for you.
Yeah.
And with that little side note on the joys of working as a phlebotomist, I think
if anyone is afraid of needles, you're probably passed out right now.
Sorry about that. I will tell you that I will be locking the washcloth thread on April 1st, and I will open a thread for the baby knit along, and I'll put the details and everything in it because that's all going to happen before our next recording, and we will draw a prize for the wash. 2 prizes for the washcloth on our next show. So that's when that's all going to happen.
Maybe I'll get motivated to at least have a washcloth for our next show. Doubtful.
Not going to happen.
I really should because that would take no time at all.
I know. I was going to make some for my sister-in-law to give to the baby, and I've had a lot going on, so I just didn't do it.
I mean, size 8 needles, it would take you a day, not even.
Probably take an hour.
Well, maybe not an hour.
I mean, if you just did grandmother's favorite, you could bang that out in an hour. Yeah. That would be easy. Yeah. So anyway, so that's it for my shout-outs. Do you have any shout-outs?
Not to my knowledge. I take that back. We did get, let me just double check. I want to say we got, no, that's not the one I was looking at. I want to say we got a donation.
Ooh, a donation.
I think. I got to find it, though.
We might have gotten a donation. If you would like to donate to the podcast, you can donate by using the button over here. We do use all of that money to pay for the expenses of the podcast, which is the post office box and mailing, postage, and mailing supplies. Yay!
Kimberly, back on... Sorry about this. March 12th.
Oh, good.
Donated some money to our podcast.
Thank you, Kimberly.
So thank you, Kimberly. We really do appreciate it. If you want to donate, it's right over that way.
We use 100% of that money for prizes and podcast expenses.
Which would include shipping.
And
we also got some money from Cafe Press.
Ooh.
Not a lot.
No, because we didn't make a lot of sales. But if you would like to buy something from Cafe Press, you can buy it at a button over here. That's excellent. So we needed a little money because we were running kind of low on our funds.
So that's
excellent. Thank you, everybody, for buying from the store.
Sorry, little itch in my ear.
Thank you for buying from the Cafe Press store, and thank you for your donations. They are greatly appreciated.
They are.
And if you are a vendor, you can always donate things for prizes, and we will be happy to show them on the show and give you a little advertising in exchange for that. So
I'm looking at the dishcloths now, and I love watching how a simple pattern, like the grandmother's dishcloth, and how when you're using certain colored yarns, how it looks, makes it really, really pretty.
I was just looking at it the other night. I go in every week and just kind of browse through. Somebody did one that I really liked that had lips on it.
Oh,
that was really cute. That'll end Sunday. And the new thread will start on Monday, and I will get those started for everybody. All right.
Good.
So on the dance card, the biggest thing on the dance card, I was hoping it was going to be a finished object, but it's not. Breakwater by Cecily Glowick McDonald in String Theory Caper Sock Canyon colorway. This is available for either $6 or $7 on Ravelry. It was gifted to me by Melissa from His and Hers podcast. And this is the yarn that I took out of my my Myrtle cardigan and saved it. And I am so close to being done. I only have, all the ends are woven in. It needs to be blocked, obviously. I have this much left to knit on the sleeve. So 2.5, 3 inches left, and I will be done with this sweater. It fits great, so hopefully you'll see me wearing it on next week's podcast, assuming that it doesn't suddenly get boiling hot here. The weather has been so tricky lately, you never know.
It's supposed to be in the 50s next week.
So
Sunday, supposedly 57.
I will wear this next week.
Well, yeah, that would be a nice sweater to wear, maybe with a tank top underneath.
Yeah.
Keep you warm.
But it's almost done. Everything. I did all the ends already. I did the underarms, everything.
Oh, all right. That's good.
So I just have to knit to the end of the sleeve and then weave in that one end and I'll be done with it. And I was hoping it was going to be done by today, but that didn't happen. So there's that. The other thing that's still on needles, this will get more love this week now that the sweater is done, is my In the Pink by Izzy Knits. As you can see, I still haven't put it on to the cords so that I can start the next medallion. But this medallion only took me a couple of hours to knit. They don't take very long. It's a pretty simple pattern. And I am knitting the In the Pink shawl, which is free on Ravelry, in denim colorway of Zoberball. You can see it goes from very dark blue to very light blue. And so far I'm only in the dark, so you can't really tell. But right. I'm expecting that to get a lot of love this coming week because I'll have time to work on it. And the last thing that I'm working on is the Christmas Tree Baby Hat by Patty Pierce Stone in Barocco Vintage DK. Green. I don't have a colorway for that. And that is knit on US 5. It's supposed to be on US 4s, but I thought it would be too big. But I can tell from looking at this, the way that it decreases, this hat is going to be too small for a 3-month-old. So I'm going to rip it out, and I'm going to make the sections between the leaves larger. I'm basically just going to rewrite the pattern so that it fits. I mean, the bottom is big enough, obviously, but the decrease is making it too short. So I am going to make wider sections. But I think it's going to be super cute when it's done. It'll be cute. I haven't worked much on this week. Once I realized I was going to have to rip it out, I kind of put it to the side and focused on my Breakwater, which I would like to get done. So that is what I have on the needles, not including my projects of shame, which are not to be shown.
I was thinking about my projects of shame. I only have my sock that's a project of shame, and I'll probably work on that after this. But I still have one item on the needle that I'm trying to finish one row of. But I am working on the Iris Goddess of Rainbow shawl by Natasha Vogel, or Crazy Kitty Knits, out of my Wool-My Zenzi colored yarn. I am almost done with Clue 2. I finished my wavy bits and I can't see between.
It looks so pretty.
So that was this, and then I have to do 4 repeats of the seed stitch.
Mm-hmm.
4 repeats of this right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go on to Clue 4. So I'm almost done.
Yeah, you are almost done. That's amazing.
It's just, I'm also doing 298 stitches, and right now what I'm doing, I'm increasing to make it 258 stitches, and I'm increasing to make it 264 for the next clue.
Don't scratch a couch, Ox. My cat. Dude. I don't know what they're doing over there.
I don't know when I'll be done. I'm not even going to say, because I have no clue.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to be done with this, like, today or tomorrow.
I was thinking about putting this down and picking something else up, but I'm like, no, I really got to finish. Because I might put it down and just do a quick washcloth, but I really do need to.
I almost cast something else on yesterday, and I was like, I really have to finish this sweater. It's not that I...
Sorry, the cats are
like so playful
crazy
right now. It's just Ollie mostly. I don't. This has been an enjoyable sweater to knit, but I'm done with the project. I think once I got one sleeve done, I'm like, I'm done with it now.
Even though you still need another sleeve.
Even though I still need so little of another sleeve, and I am still on this ball of yarn.
Oh wow!
So I'm gonna have enough. This is a full skein. It's just in 2 parts.
What are you gonna do with it?
No, I guess I could make a Shawlette or something. It's nice yarn.
Yeah, cashmere, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to do something with it. But yeah, I have a whole skein left over.
Well, that's good.
If you put those 2 together. And I was worried about running out of yarn. Guess not. Oh, and I still have some of this yarn too. I have quite a bit of yarn left over.
Yeah, you do.
Yay. So I could make something out of it. But probably not for a while because I'm a little sick of looking at this color.
Yeah.
And I realize this is very close to the color that I'm wearing right now.
Not really. I don't think so.
Well,
on camera it looks it, but when it's not in camera, I don't think so.
This is more orange and this is more red.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my Creature Comforts cardigan. Love that thing. So, that it for your thing?
Yeah.
Okay, rate my date. I have nothing. I was hoping to rate this. Didn't happen.
I got nothing.
Oh, boring. Rate your dates.
We're boring, period.
I know. We got to get out of this slump. I do have a whirlwind romance this time, though. I showed you last week that I had finished one skein of my Man in Black colorway on merino, superwash merino silk from Highland Handmades. I got 300 yards of what is mostly a sport weight. I finished the other skein. So these are the 2 skeins. And it's so funny because this skein is much more
Fluffy?
barber pulled.
Oh.
It's a little thicker than too. I didn't get quite as much yardage. So you can see that the colors ran together a little bit, but I got them. I was much more close with the colors on this one. So this one is going to barber pull a lot more. But that's fine. And I have a couple of projects in mind. I have about 575 yards of this, 550. So I want to make a big wrap, scarfy wrap with it because this is so soft and squishy and pretty. So that's what I'm going to do with that.
Oh, good.
But yeah, and I'm thinking that I am going to do a quick spin with my Joe Rides Motorbike colorway that I showed a couple months ago from Dyeabolical Yarns that I bought that has some sparkle and purple and it's really pretty. So I think I might do that as a palette cleanser before I start spinning for the sweater again. Just for fun. Just let it spin however it wants to be and not worry about it.
Good idea.
Yeah, because I've been enjoying spinning since I reconditioned my wheel. Should really do that every 6 months if you have a well, I can't speak for any other brands, but if you have a shocked wheel, you should really condition it every 6 months. It's good for it. So that's all I have for Whirlwind Romance. Future dates. I already talked to you about the baby chicken Viking hat that I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you the patterns that I'm thinking of doing for the yarn that I just showed you, this yarn. The first one is called the Couche Shawlette, and it's a garter stitch, big garter stitch shawlette with eyelet holes in it. Let me see if I can find another picture.
And who does that?
It's by Cat McCab, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is what it looks like. It's an asymmetrical. So, and you can measure, weigh it, and make it as long as possible. And I like the way the striping shows. Whoops, I just turned that off. I like the way that it shows the striping. As I've discussed before, this yarn that I spun was spun to stripe. So I want to kind of take advantage of that. So the Kwoosh, Kwoosh, Shawlette by Cat McCab is one option. And then I have another option, which is Trillion by Martina Bem, which is a...
That's a garter stitch as well, isn't it?
It is, yes. It is another garter stitch shawl with a lacy edging. Again, asymmetrical, quite big.
Oh, yeah.
This pattern costs about $3.95 on Ravelry because it is, I think it's in euros. It's €3, which is about $3.95 according to Ravelry's little calculator thing. Again, you can see how well that pattern shows the striping, and that's something that I kind of want to do. And it calls for 547 to 574 yards, which is about exactly what I have. So that would work really well for the yarn. And then the last one is called Feston by Lisa R. Myers. And I wish I could show a better picture of it.
Oh, that's pretty. It
has a really pretty edging on it. And it is also a big drapey shawlette. This is available for $6 on Ravelry. And it takes 510 yards. But I'm not sure. I think it's knit lengthwise, so it would stripe differently. It would stripe the long way. And I'm thinking one of the ones that's knit side to side would probably show the striping better because it would be a shorter row length, so there would be wider stripes. So I'm probably going to go with either Trillion or Kwoosh. I really like the eyelet holes in Kwoosh.
Let's go side to side.
Is it a side to side?
Mm-hmm. Might have short rows in it, but see how the knitting goes side to side.
No, I want one that goes like this. This is a lengthways.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I like the other ones go side to side.
You want the stripes to go up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that will show the striping better because it'll be shorter.
Yes. Shorter repeats, yes.
Shorter repeats. So I think I'm probably either going to do Trillion or Kwoosh. And I like the holes in Kwoosh. I like how the rows are accented by those eyelet holes. Mm-hmm. It gives it some texture.
Right.
So I might do that, but then again, there was a lot to be said for not having any interruption in the striping and just having that edging. So I don't know. I mean, it's the Trillion pattern's only $3.95, which is a really good price for a shawlette pattern.
Right.
So I don't know. Haven't decided, but that's on my future dates.
Oh, good. Me, I still plan on doing a baby sweater.
Oh, good.
I'm still planning. I think
the kangaroo one?
Yeah, I think that will be my next cast on because it's mindless enough.
Yeah.
Jeez. I wonder if his birthday already passed.
He's like a year now, right?
Yeah, I think he is. I don't remember when exactly, which is so bad of me. So I might make it for a 2-year-old.
Ollie.
Maybe 2 to 3.
Excuse me.
Yeah. What's he chewing on? So, oh, he's chewing on a cord.
Computer cord. No,
Whoa.
Ollie. Jeez.
Crazy little cat here.
What is going on with you today?
So I'm still planning on doing the kangaroo sweater.
Yeah. What is it called? It's called something else.
The wallaby.
Wallaby. That's it. It's in the show notes because I linked the pattern in the show notes.
Yeah, I made it before. I made it last year for my son.
Yes, and you're going to do a little kid version.
Yeah, which would be, but I plan on, I think, doing stripes.
Oh, that'll be cute.
Yeah, with the colors that I have, I think it will be really cute.
I think so. I like that. Anything else on your future dates?
At the moment, no. I'm sure there is probably a couple of washcloths. I want to make that hanging towel. For my brother.
That's right. I think I mentioned that in the show notes last week, too.
But the wonderful wallaby, I think, will be cute. And I should definitely have plenty of yarn that I could probably make a matching hat. Maybe mittens.
Oh, yeah, that'll be cute.
Not mittens. Well, let's see, 3. No, probably for thumbless mittens at that age still.
Yeah, you might want to make them for next winter.
Yeah, I'll make it for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's a
2
good
to 3 because he's a big boy.
A big boy.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll shoot for age 3 without the hood. Make a hat.
That'll be cute.
And mittens. Yeah, I think so.
He will like that, and so will his mama.
I think so. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. And it's nice worsted weight. I believe it's worsted weight. It's not fingering weight. Let's put it that way.
Although, this is my first solid fingering weight sweater as opposed to a lacy fingering weight sweater. And this really did not take me that much longer to knit than a regular sweater.
No?
No, I mean, I think if I had really sat down to it, it would have been done already. That cat, it's like the cat is on crack. What the heck?
What'd you do, give him too much sugar?
I don't know. He is just crazy. Bless
Excuse
you.
me.
He was running into the shower when I was in there, and I've never seen him. His eyes are all wild. Somebody must have given him catnip or something. I know we have catnip in the house. Maybe the kids gave him some. It's like he's on crack.
Did he eat any of the flowers?
No.
What? Did somebody eat the flowers?
Oh, I don't know.
Those chives?
I don't know what they are.
Sorry. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing is knitting the sweater. I think that's what I'm going to do after this is cast on for the washcloths. I need something quick.
Yeah.
I need an instant gratification.
The baby hats did that for me. That was really good.
I need instant gratification. And so
do it.
Yeah.
Crushes and heartbreaks. I have only a crush. We made it almost 11 days without a vomit incident in my household. And
that's
then
a crush?
This is the heartbreak.
Well,
did I say crush? I'm a little tired.
Like, why is that a crush?
It's a heartbreak. I'm sorry. We made it almost 11 days without a vomit incident in my house. And then on the 11th morning, my son was sick twice. And then he was fine. I kept him home from school, but he was fine. He was playing downstairs. He had lunch. I made him a bagel. I mean, it was like a normal kid. All of a sudden at 7:30, he gets sick again. And then passes out asleep, like exhausted. So I was like, well, he probably ate too much for supper. No, he woke up and it kept getting worse. And he was screaming that his heart was hurting. And he said it was right here and it was hurting him. And he was diagnosed before he was born with stenosis of the aortic stenosis, narrowed aorta, which after he was born, they couldn't find any problems with it. It was within normal range. It was narrow, but was within narrow normal. So that scared me a little bit when he started saying his heart was hurting. But then I could feel his heart pounding so fast. I said to Jim, I'm taking him to the emergency room. It scared me. So I drove him. Jim had to stay with my daughter. So I drove him to the emergency room at like midnight. And his heart rate was 144 beats per minute when we got him to the hospital. And they whipped him into the back. Got him on IV fluids. This is where I had a long discussion with the physician's assistant about phlebotomy. because Jack had to have a IV in his arm, and he was really brave during it, mostly because he was just so sick that he didn't care.
Yeah.
He cried a little bit, but he just was like too sick. And it turns out that he was just really dehydrated, and that's probably because...
Whoops.
Be a little quiet. It's Good Friday, so the kids are at home. And that he was really dehydrated, and it's probably because after he was sick in the morning and then he got well, I wasn't pushing fluids on him all day like I normally would if he was still sick. Like, it didn't occur to me. He seemed fine. He had only thrown up twice. So I think he probably just was a little dehydrated, and then it got worse, and because then he got sick so much more in the evening. So they got him full of fluids, and they gave him something to stop the nausea, and he was discharged at almost 4 a.m. He fell asleep for a while. They did blood tests on him to make sure there wasn't any kind of a heart issue going on, and it was white blood cells slightly elevated to indicate that he was sick, which he was. So they told me I should, when they heard the story of how we've all been sort of passing this thing around for the last month, they told me I should follow up with the pediatrician. And Jim and I had actually decided when Jack got sick in the morning that I was going to take both of the kids to the doctor the next day, because I was like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
So we did. We went to the doctor, and he listened to all of the symptoms and the pattern of what has been going on. And he believes that we all have some form of rotavirus. And it's not that we're passing it around to each other. It's that once you get rotavirus, it takes a long time for it to work all the way out of your system. So it can flare up if you don't get enough sleep, or, it can flare up. And he said that it's going around our town, and that there are some people it has taken 2 months to get completely rid of the bug. And that we should just continue what we're doing, but we should all be eating some yogurt with probiotics to try to get our gut flora and fauna back to the normal, because it might be, they're just out of whack now because of that rotavirus. So we've been doing that. It's been now, I guess, 2 days since the last vomit incident. I'm starting the count again. I'd like to get past 11. 11 was or 10, I guess it was actually 10. 10 is our current record. I'd like to make it past 10 this time. But yeah, one of the reasons I didn't knit much this week is because I was up very early on Tuesday morning. I was up almost all night on Tuesday night. I got about 3 hours of sleep, and then I was up all day on Wednesday until fairly late on Wednesday night. And I'm still catching up because I'm not used to staying up all night like Sheila is. And I am not. My body takes a long time for me to get...
Still not used to it.
To get over. I know, wow. I could never work like you do. Would make me crazy. But that is my heartbreak. I don't really have any crushes. Nothing to report. Hopefully next week is going to be a better week. That's my plan.
There you go. For me, crushes and heartbreaks. My husband's home today with my boys.
Is that a crush or a heartbreak?
I don't know yet. I haven't gone home yet. Not sure. I have to do laundry, so I got my car service, which was a crush because I got paid, which is nice.
Is that your first paycheck?
My
from
first
your
paycheck
real job?
from my real job, yeah, because we get paid
exciting.
every 2 weeks. So
that's exciting.
My first paycheck actually took 3 weeks to come to me because of the way it is. I have to set up direct deposit.
Yeah, that'll be handy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. It's exciting to get your first paycheck.
It is, but it's just kind of also, how do I want to say, realistic when it takes me 2 shifts at my overnight job to work the same hours as like 4 or 5 shifts at my other job. Because I get paid the same. I know, but you're not crazy killing yourself at this job. Well, yeah, you kind of do because... but it's not the same. I'm not killing myself at my other job. I'm just, sitting there at night. But I think those overnight hours are... Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely deadlier than
working morning hours.
Heard some news about my coworker. Apparently, she's got a cyst on her brain.
Oh my goodness!
I told you about this, where she collapsed.
Yes. Oh, the lady from the call thing.
Yeah.
Is she all right?
I don't know. I only heard that she's got a cyst and they got to remove it. So I don't see her coming back to work in a while.
No. Oh my goodness.
So I got to talk to my boss because I can only work 2 days next week. I'm working 3 days. I'm working tomorrow because she asked me when I could, but I can't. My schedule for my other job is already set in advance.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for.
It gives you a good, reason why you can't work those overnight hours so that you don't feel obligated to
So
strain
I think
yourself.
after I leave here, that's where I'm going to head.
Yeah.
Depending on the time, so that I can talk to her.
Good.
Trying to think what else. So a friend of mine is loaning me her Audible account.
Yes.
And I've been listening to books on
Oh,
tape
good.
or on Audible. Well, she has it plugged into my iPad.
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing is having it on my iPad and just putting it on my dashboard.
Yeah.
Not realizing that, hey, I should plug it in and have it through my speakers.
Oh! Because you can.
So I plugged it in today and I'm like, oh, that makes it so much better.
You're not used to the ways of the...
Not with an iPad. With iPods, yeah.
It's the same thing.
I know, but I just didn't think... Because I've tried to play music from my iPad before, and I couldn't, but it might be because I don't have really any music on my iPad.
That's probably why.
So, yeah, today it was kind of nice.
Does your car have Bluetooth like mine?
No, I have to plug it in through the cord.
Yeah,
the other thing, too, is one of the reasons why I don't do it is because my iPad is the newest iPad, which is a different cord. Similar to yours.
It's got the little tiny cord, yeah.
But, so I need to bring it in and out because that's the only cord I have for this.
Right.
Where, we have several of the regular iPod cords.
Right.
And I usually just keep one in there for the boys' iPods. But... So I just have to remember to bring that back.
Yeah, it's handy.
Oh, I've been listening. I've been having a great time listening to it.
My car has that capability, but it also has Bluetooth, so I can set my electronic devices to just automatically turn on the car. So yeah, but my kids are starting to get annoyed because I play the music from my iPhone and the controls are right on the steering wheel, so I can click through the songs I don't feel like listening to. My kids are like, why can't we just listen to a song?
Well, it's funny because both my boys have on their iPods music, but Zachary has just Kids Bop music that we have. Max has more of the adult music, which sometimes isn't good. So we're like, well, he has something. I look at Cam if he's driving. I'm like, skip it.
Well,
Max is like, what?
I am going to admit to you, there are several songs on my playlist that have explicit lyrics. And songs that you wouldn't even realize had explicit lyrics because when you hear them on the radio, they have changed it. Like James Blunt's "You're Beautiful" has a swear word in it. And there's a song by the Mumford & Sons that has a swear in every single refrain. And so my kids did ask me this week, how come we're not allowed to swear, but Mom can play music on the radio that has a swear word in it? And we told them, you're going to hear swear words. You're going to hear them.
Yeah.
As long as you understand that, it's not... I don't like to give those words power. So I tell them, you know what, if you swear in front of me, I'm not going to get mad at you, but I am going to tell you not to do it because the big problem with swear words is that they offend other people.
Right.
So you have to learn how to not use swear words in situations where you could potentially offend someone without meaning to.
Right.
So we're like, school, other people's houses,
right.
Out in public, when you're around people you don't know. I mean, so, my husband was like, that's why it's okay to hear them, but you can't get into the habit of saying them because then you'll start doing it by accident and you're going to offend somebody. So, and so I'm like, if you want to sing along and say that word, go ahead, in the car. But don't be going into school and singing these words to your friends because their parents might not have the same attitude to swears as I do, which is why you have the whole, let's not use them because we don't want to offend people unintentionally.
Well, it's funny because Max asked me why do people use them. This was like a couple of years ago, and I said, well, they actually use it as an adjective. Some of the swears are used as an adjective.
Yeah.
It's not just
like I'm going to F you. It's more like that effing dog.
Yeah, it's not like, instead of that darn dog.
Yeah.
Or just that dog.
Yeah.
It's that effing darn dog. Because, it just, so I explained it to him that way. But I went to a wedding on Sunday, my cousin's wedding. We had a lot of fun. So we were seated at the table. It was me, my husband, my brother, and his wife, who just recently got married, and then my other brother. That was all at the table, which was unusual. And she was giving away the centerpieces to the couple who's been married the longest.
Oh, you totally scored.
I totally scored because my brother hadn't even been married, I think, a full month at that point. Tommy was divorced from his wife for many years, and my husband and I were almost on 14 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
14 years in May. So I'm like, oh, cool. I was looking at your flowers, and that's what reminded me.
Yes, we were the designated centerpiece takers homers at my brother and sister-in-law's wedding because a lot of people were from out of town, and they were like, you need to take like these 8 centerpieces home. We have all these great vases from it.
Well, it was a silver vase, and I think it's plastic. I haven't really looked, but her colors were purple and white, and we're not sure if she planned it this way because she did get married in a church, and this is Easter time, and for any Catholics and Christians, it's purple.
Oh, that's true.
It's purple everywhere in the church.
Oh, so that's
for
pretty.
Easter and stuff. So they had a purple cake.
Oh, cool.
It didn't taste, I guess, if you can have a purple cake, it can be lavender, I guess. I'm not sure. Didn't taste any different, but frosting was delicious. It wasn't a typical, you know how you get those cakes with the fondant?
Yeah, I don't like
fondant. God, it was so delicious. It was regular sugar frosting.
Oh, I would have liked that.
Yeah, it was we had a lot of fun.
That's good,
and I got to see all my cousins and my aunts and uncles. Anyone who was living, I guess you could say, is there. Because obviously my mother isn't, and my grandmother isn't.
Yeah, the dead don't usually attend weddings.
But anyone, this was the first time in many years for happy occasion that they were all together.
That's great. I'm glad.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend much time with my family that came out of town. But
maybe next time.
Well, it's funny because I told you when I went to Vegas, I wanted to visit my cousin, who lives in Vegas, and that was the one weekend that he was up in Boston. Go figure.
Your timing is bad.
No, yeah, always, and I think that's about it for my crushes and heartbreaks. I'm sure I'll think of something else, but
well, I have some baubles and bling this week. The first one, can I find it? Whoa. So I am Invisible Friends. Because I haven't ever met her in real life. Oh. With Rachel from Dyeabolical Yarns. Right. I call her my invisible friend. And she was tweeting several weeks ago about how she was smelling some soap that she had made and wishing she could smell it all the time. And then she was like, I could make perfume. And she bought perfume making supplies. And if you have watched a show before, a few months ago, she sent Sheila and I some samples of the soap that she sells. And one of mine was brown sugar and fig, and it smelled so good that I literally kept it next to my knitting area on the couch so I could just smell it all the time. So when she said she was going to start making perfume, I said, ooh, make me brown sugar and fig and then invoice me for it. Because that's how I usually buy things from her. I impose on her.
There you go.
So she said, all right. But she made it, and she's like, this is just a tester. So she just sent it to me to test out. It's not, she didn't invoice me for it. And this is not what the label is going to look like. This is one of her soap labels.
Oh, all right.
So she put it in this roll-on perfume bottle. Smell it. It smells so freaking good.
Can I use it?
Yes, please. We're testing it. I have smelled so good for the last 3 days that I keep smelling myself. I'm just like...
It's nice and light.
It smells clean, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not overpowering.
Clean.
I would buy this type of perfume. I'm not a perfume person.
Me
and
either.
If I wear it, it's musky. My husband and I do not have the same taste in perfume. What he likes, I consider old lady perfume.
Like floral.
And
floral.
Yeah, and what I like, he considers old lady perfume. So... But this, it smells clean.
It smells clean and good, and the fig smells strongest at first, and towards the end of the day, you start to smell the brown sugar more, and it's weird because I don't normally like food-scented things,
Right.
And brown sugar and figs are both food, but this smells so good. I keep smelling it and going, God, what is that great smell? Oh, it's me. So yes, Rachel, so far the test for this has been A++. My kids love it too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they both said it smells really good. I haven't asked my husband to smell me yet. I keep forgetting to ask him.
I should
Smell
have
me.
Cam. Yeah, I should have my
Ask
husband.
him if he likes it. I love it. So I'm hoping that this will lead to her selling some scents as well.
Oh, good.
Because I love brown sugar and fig. Who would even know that would be a scent? But it's amazing. So thank you, Rachel. I will be your guinea pig tester anytime. And the second bauble and bling that I got. So I have been spinning now for more than a year, about a year and a half. And I took a class on drafting with Abby Frankemont last year. And, you know, when I was spinning for this yarn, my husband has a meeting with his boss every Friday. When I was spinning this yarn, I was starting to think, you know, I can get the yarn that I want by spinning it the weight that I want. But I was wondering about other techniques to use. And I was looking on Ravelry. I belong to a couple of spinning groups. I belong to Spin Tech is one of the groups. And I'm pretty sure that's where I heard about this book. It is called Spinning Wool Beyond the Basics by Anne Field. And Anne Field is a spinning teacher. I think she is from Christchurch, New Zealand. She is. But she has taught all over the world. And this book was said to be very good because it tells you about the drive ratios of all the major wheels. The big name wheels. I don't want to say major. There's some really good wheels out there that are not the big named wheels. For example, my wheel, the Ladybug, is in there. But they have the shocked wheels, some of the Louette wheels, some of the Majacraft wheels, the Ashford wheels. Basically, several of the big name wheels. She talks about the drive ratios, the wheel diameter, and information that you need to learn technical things about spinning, such as drive ratio, twist, and yarn sizes. And I thought it might be time for me to learn some of the more technical stuff about spinning to see if that can affect my end product. And like I do a lot of it just by feel and eyeball, and you know, I'm not a really compulsive or I'm not a really detail-oriented spinner. I spin quickly and I spin for relaxation and I just eyeball everything and I make it work. But I thought it might be fun to learn more about spinning worsted and semi-worsted yarns. And the thing that I love about it, too, is there's a lot of instructions on how to card. Because I've been toying with getting carding combs because I thought it would be fun to do some of that prep. And it tells you also about drum carders and brush carder, hand carders. And it's just got a lot of really good technical information. There are some designs, some pattern designs in it.
For hand spun stuff?
For hand spun yarn. There's like a rug you can make. You can felt things. There's this strange wrap. There's nothing in the patterns are, there's nothing really in the pattern
That's cute.
things that I would necessarily.
Nothing to scream over.
No, it's not anything I would necessarily knit. I mean,
no.
There's a lot of very taste-specific stuff. So it's really, this is bought more for the basics. It also tells you how to match up how much twist you should use with the crimp in the wool, which I think is interesting. I do own the big source book of wool that I bought earlier this year. So I think this will be a good companion to it.
Yeah.
It tells you the type of yarn sample. It shows you a picture of it, and it gives you suggestions on how you should spin it, how many twists you should put per inch, and it gives you some ideas of wearing. So it'll say, like, Beaumont is really good for baby wear, scarves, garments that are worn next to the skin.
Oh, interesting.
So it's interesting. English Leicester is better for outer clothing. because it can get stringy.
Does it have anything about yak? Sorry.
We have a friend. We have to tell this story.
We have a friend whose husband went to
Tibet.
He went
to Everest. He
climbed Mount Everest and he got her some yak.
Because he knew that yak yarn was really amazing, and so he took it upon himself to deal with one of the Sherpa's wives and get some yak yarn. But this is not your
processed,
it's
right?
Unprocessed yak yarn.
It's very rough, and she tried knitting with it, and she's like, I just can't. So what she did is she made it a centerpiece. But we tease her every time.
Her husband spent a lot of money on the yak yarn because he knew that it was expensive. I think the Sherpa and his wife took him for a little bit of a ride. It was completely unprocessed. The guard hairs were not taken out of it, and it still
unusable.
It had dung in it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like twine, like kitchen twine. It was so bad. She brought it in, and we were like, ooh.
So it's in a big glass bowl as a centerpiece.
Yes. I mean, it was really...
It was very
sweet and thoughtful of her husband to spend that money on amazing yarn for his wife. But this is the long-standing dichotomy between husbands who want to like totally support your craft and husbands who know nothing about your craft buying things for you.
Yeah, but hey, her husband has done more than mine ever has, so.
Oh, I mean, my husband's amazing. He will ask me what I want, but he has learned over the years that it is best for him to learn specifically what I want because he wouldn't know yak yarn from, the finest cashmere ever made. He would not know the difference in that. Until recently, he thought yarn was like $1 a skein. He has no clue. And I think her husband, same thing. He was trying to do something really amazing for her. He was. And his lack of knowledge about the craft and how yarn should feel hindered him a great deal. We make fun of it. It's the worst yarn ever.
We still ask her about it.
I know. Well, the thing is, she looked into trying to have someone process it, but...
They said it wasn't worth it.
No. No. So it's a lovely centerpiece and a reminder of her amazing husband and how
his trip.
He cares about her. But yeah, whenever we say yak yarn, we laugh because it's funny. Gossip and innuendo. Oh, you don't have... Do you have Baubles and Bling?
Baubles and Bling. No.
I didn't think so. Gossip and innuendo. I swear to you, I am going to put that knitting video up. I still haven't done it.
Oh.
I have it now. I did undelete the thing that I accidentally deleted last week. So I can now finish it. Oh my god.
One of the cats is playing with her skein of yarn. He didn't wreck it, did he?
Look, he chewed on it.
It was so wet.
I know. How did it must have fallen off the table. He is out of control. Oh, he chewed a hole in it. Well, did he? That might have been an end.
I don't know. Could have been an end.
I think it might have been an end.
Ollie, what are you doing, buddy?
It's out of control. Yeah, I think that was an end. I'm not seeing a corresponding.
No, I don't see one either.
Unbelievable.
Your sweater's on the floor.
Yeah, I know. And stepping on it. The other stuff. So I'm going to try to get that video out. I'm going to work on it, I swear, this weekend.
Sure you are.
I know. Well, if life would just cut me a break, I would have time for these things. Also, there are 2 days left on the Fire Medic, Christine from Baltimore's Mid-Atlantic Burn Camp lottery for the blanket that was designed by Noragon that she knit called Textured Knots Blanket. Fire Medic knitted, not Noragon. And I have been posting the links for that and on our show notes, so you can check it out there if you're interested in buying lottery tickets. And she will end the raffle March 31st and post the winner on April 1st on her Facebook page, I think it is. But the link sends you to the place with all the information. And also, I wanted to update you. Melissa, who is Meliabella on Ravelry from His and Hers podcast, has made her minimum.
Oh, good.
$2,300 was her minimum, and she went in the group. She did not have to be responsible for
I saw
it.
that.
But, if she wanted to walk, she would have had to pay that difference. But she has now made her minimum. That doesn't mean you can't still donate. The information to her donation page will be on the blog again. Because she made the minimum amount, but the more she can earn for the walk, the more that benefits the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. So if you're still interested, also, Stitched by Jessalou has been selling pink ribbon bags, and some of the profits went to Melissa's walk. They may not be going to Melissa's walk anymore. I'm not 100% sure, but you can check out Jessalou's website, because if they're not benefiting Melissa's fundraising effort, they will go to breast cancer research, because she does, when they're not being donated to a specific charity, she does like to do donations to Breast Cancer Foundation. So you can still get a bag and have a donation made as long as she has them in stock. So check out her store. You should check it out anyway, because it's a good store. And the Loire Cowl coupon code, Loire2, Loire2, is still good until tomorrow, March 30th. So you can get $1 off, and that design is by Angelia Magar, and it is one of the patterns that I tech edited for her. And it's a really cute cowl. It has 4 different options, so check it out. And finally, and I remembered to do it, I released the Sleepy Hollow pattern that I knit for Knitting My Bags Bag & More kit. This is the shawl. Very pretty. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to see because it's very dark. It is a crescent-shaped shawlette. Takes 1 skein of yarn. And the pattern is available on Ravelry. And it has an edging. And now I can't remember what kind of lace it was. I got it from an old English knitting book. Well, and I modified it to make those petal shapes.
Pretty.
Yes. So that's what it looks like. It is available in my Ravelry store if you are interested in knitting it. I like it because it has a lot of stockinette and then just a very little lace. And if you knit it with a gradient, you can wait to start the lace until you get to the last color, which is kind of fun. So that's out there after a long wait. Lois has been on my back to release it. It was limited to her Bag & More kits for 3 months, and then I was allowed to release it, and I just didn't get around to it because I just feel like this new year has been crazy.
Well, here it is, almost the end of March.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's out there. I think that's all we have. I did hear, for those of you who are living in the Massachusetts area, Mind's Eye Yarn in Cambridge, Porter Square, which was my local yarn store before I moved where I live now, is offering her yarn store for sale. And if it is not sold by a date in April, she is going to sell out the stock and close it down.
That's a second yarn store.
I know. Well, she posted, if you go to the Mind's Eye Yarn Store blog, she posted an explanation about it. She is a single childless woman who ended up having to take custody of her nephew.
Oh, okay.
A couple of years ago, and she has realized that in order to make sure that he has money for further education and to spend the time that he needs for parenting, that this owning a yarn store is not a good career track for her. So she has gone to school to become an accountant.
Oh, good for her.
And she was hoping to run them both at the same time, but it can't happen. And so she is offering the store for sale. So if you are interested in buying a yarn store, check out the Mind's Eye Yarn blog, and I will link to it on the show notes. And if you are a person who frequents that yarn store, it's only going to be open a couple more months. So that's really sad. Somebody in our group asked for information on Boston yarn stores, and I was sad at how many have closed or are closing. Wool Cotton Company used to be a local yarn store for me. That's gone. That's been gone for a couple of years. Butterfly Yarns is closing down in Wakefield. Windsor Button Shop just closed down in Boston, and now Mind's Eye Yarns. Like all the yarn stores that I used to frequent when I was younger, they're all just gone, and I guess that's normal, but
yeah, that's too bad.
It makes me sad. So keep an eye on that, because if she is going to close out her stock, you might be able to get some good deals. I will be keeping an eye on it. She does sell spinning supplies, so I might have to go down and, if she doesn't sell the shop, and see if there's anything good.
Yeah.
So sad news. Sad news.
That's too bad.
Yeah. That's all there is for us to say.
Yeah, that's all I have. If you're a new viewer, thanks for checking us out. If you're a continuing viewer, thanks for coming back each week and watching us. We really do appreciate it.
We really do, especially in this knitting doldrum that we've been in the last few weeks. I swear, as soon as the rotavirus is gone from my family, things will be much more lively.
Me, it's just work hours.
Yeah, well, you work in 2 jobs. Yeah. It's better than the 3 jobs.
Oh, it's not much different.
No, it really isn't.
I'm just not at school for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Or whatever, how many hours it was.
A long time.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And with
do
that
what
note, we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Knit with heart. Bye.